They are the giants like Amazon and Walmart. So OP is the key. I mean, GRE scores are just the boundary that you cross that, okay.
So this is Rishabh Goyal here. I am from Leap Finance and I'm excited to have Palash with me. Palash is a fall 2020 AgMech to North Carolina State University, and he's kindly joined us to share his study abroad journey and some tips and tricks that we all can learn. Thank you, Palash, for joining.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you. So, hello guys. My name is Palash. I'm basically from Rajasthan and I've completed my BTech in automobile engineering from MIT Manipal. My GRE score, I took GRE in October last year. My GRE score is 313. So that's 163 for quants and 150 for verbal. And my TOEFL score is 107. And I'm opting for industrial engineering MS. Yeah, they are the giants like Amazon and Walmart. Their whole business idea of getting the product delivered to you, that is the entire supply chain. Even considering Walmart, their stores, you know what kind of inventory do they hold, how do they move their products. It's all just too much to do. That's some effort. So I'd like to join them. Yeah, I started it in my last year along with my project work. I started around January, but that was like on off kind of thing. I was focusing on the project side too, so that was not that consistent. But okay, I built something on that, and after that, I sat down for 2 months straight, and that was the time when actually things started to roll. So I completed my applications just before 30th December. Like all my applications were done by then. Because as you know, the priority deadlines are almost on the first week of January. So my NCSU result I received on 15th Feb. So that's the earliest I received any of those. Like the other admits were towards the starting of March or so. March first week, March second week. Yeah, so during the application part, the most prominent thing is the SOP. I mean, if you have a really good SOP, that might, even if you don't have that great GRE scores, it might compensate for that. That's what I believe in, and as like to the audience we are reaching out right now, many people go over the internet, browse through videos, and almost everyone, each one of the videos I have watched, all of them told that okay, SOP is the key. I mean, GRE scores are just the boundary that you cross that, okay, you are eligible for the university. Yeah, so actually my project was regarding aerodynamic analysis of a hatchback. So obviously that I didn't publish that, or it was not selected for any journal or something. But that was pretty intensive thing. Like I got to use over around 4 softwares that actually, again, the same thing. Like if we conduct research in here, so we have to do everything by ourselves. The professor's there, but he's just gonna be like, okay, I see what you guys are doing. Continue. If you have some trouble, then come over to me. So I think if you carry out one or two of those projects, then you know how to handle, like bottlenecks or something, and you get to learn a bit more about the exact softwares, how to use that. Yeah, so I gave my GRE in October, I know that October is kind of late, but that's why I said my preparation was on off on off. So before October, that was the 2 months that I really sat down and I was like, okay, it's high time now. If I don't sit right now, I'm gonna miss another year. Obviously, we didn't know about COVID back then. No, I gave TOEFL after GRE because actually, again, I had that briefing that it's not that typical a thing, and if once you have prepared for the verbal part of the GRE, it will be rather easy for you to go for TOEFL. And I would definitely recommend that once you are done with your GRE, then go for your TOEFL. Because you have kind of an experience, you have that writing ability and all, which is needed right there. I seriously prepared with just the flashcards. That's all I did. And I sat down for 2 hours and I prepared myself for the speaking section. That was all I prepared for the TOEFL. For GRE, see, I started with the first thing I started with was I took a test at the beginning itself. At the very starting, I did a mock. I wrote down the results and I was like, okay, this is the baseline. Now we have to move further away. Like, how far can we get here? So after that, I started with the concept. And the first week, I didn't time myself actually, but after that, I started timing myself. That how much time I'm taking in completing 10 questions or 20 questions. And what's the accuracy I'm gaining, like how much percentage is the right. I started noting that down, and actually after that I prepared for that like around a month with that, and after that month it was all just practice and practice and practice. That's it. In the last 2 weeks, just the mock test. Yeah, I would say I still have, because I haven't sent my deferral mail yet. Because actually, like that's a better part on the university, that they've given the deadline at a far end. They have given us a deadline till 1st of August. So I am waiting for another week. If I hear something about the visa consulates opening up, then let's hope for that. If not, then I'll be sending my deferral mail for the next fall. Yeah, I'd be deferring to the next fall. And the reason I'm choosing the fall semester is because of the summer internship you get. You have to be on the campus for 2 semesters, and that's the time. If you enter for the fall, you complete your 2 semesters, you have a summer, and that's the time you get to do your internship. That part you miss out on the spring. So I'm looking for job opportunities right now. Like I'm actively applying. I'm going through online courses. See, as I'm shifting from automobile to supply chain management, basically. So I'm going for the basic knowledge I should be having for supply chain management. What are the certified courses, like Six Sigma's there? So I've completed that. So I'm going through that, basically trying to convert this time into something productive, to build something upon. I've gone through some courses on edX. Actually, there you have the option of auditing the whole course. You just won't be certified. You can take even the exams. I mean, they have graded assignments and all. You can take that. So that's a pretty good part to have the basics on that. That's actually quite good. They teach you all about it. Like I'm enrolled right now in a MicroMasters Supply Chain Management program that's being offered from MIT. Yeah, just the one most important thing is that always be connected with your seniors. Or at the starting point itself, go on LinkedIn, find people who actually went to your university, or who have even gone through the journey of going to the country you wish for. So you have a basic idea on what you have to do and on what time you have to do it. Or even like people like me. I mean, I still have to go, but I have gone through half of the process. So if anyone wants to know something about that, I can tell you about that part. So
Absolutely.
reach out to people. It always helps. People do actually reply to you very soon. They help you out with everything. Even in like when I was selecting my courses, I pinged up 3 4 of the seniors like what courses should I take? I'm leaning towards supply chain management, so just tell me what are the courses I should be adding in my timetable. So they were very happy to help me, and even if someone didn't knew what he should be recommending me, he forwarded me to another person who could better guide me.
Hmm.
I guess in the whole process there are almost 10 to 15 people I've talked to who have helped me.
Thank you so much, Palash, for joining in. It was an absolute pleasure talking to you and some very insightful nuggets on being scalar at your SOP and getting into your dream AgMech.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Take care. And for more such videos, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll have more and more people joining in.